Hello my loves, I hope you all are doing well. Today I'm going to be testing out a couple new things from the drugstore. So if you like drugstore makeup, affordable makeup, testing new products, definitely give this video a thumbs up. It means so much to me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and let's go ahead and get started. First things first, let's clip the hair back. Oh, marble. What is in my eye? I did my skincare quite a while ago, so I do feel like I need to rehydrate my skin. I'm going to take this Hydro Priming Setting Spray from Moira. This is the newest setting spray in my collection. It is so good, you guys. The sprayer is like a fine mist, like you're waiting in line at the amusement park, and the little sprinklers are just misting down on you. You know what I mean? So I'm going to drench my face in this. Whew, that is nice. While it's still a little bit damp, let's moisturize. That's the key, my friend. You know, like when you get out of the shower and your skin is still a little bit damp, that's the best time to apply your lotion. So same thing with your skin on your face, you know? I'm just taking my Revlon Clean Lotus Water Cream. This is a Korean skincare brand, and I really like it because a lot of their products work super well for sensitive skin. So if you have super sensitive skin, try out this brand. And then for my eyes, I'm just gonna take this Radiant Eye Cream from Keys Soul Care. Okay, so now that we're all nice and moisturized, let's go in with the primer. So this is called the Pore Vanish Primer Blurring Prep from Makeup Revolution. This is their Relove line. So I believe everything is like around the $5 mark. Most of it is under $5. Some might be slightly above, but it's super affordable. And it is sold at Walmart now, which is really cool. Let's give this a whirl. I do like pore filling primers. I really like the Professional from Benefit, but this does not look like that at all. This actually looks like a gel, like a hair gel kind of. It's a little bit more runny. It feels really thin. The Benefit one is more like silicone-y. It does kind of smell like hairspray. I'm not a big fan of the scent. Right off the bat, it doesn't look like it's doing much to smooth the pores, but maybe once I apply foundation, I'll notice a difference. I'm just gonna focus it mainly in this T-zone area because that's where I have like the largest pores. So it's interesting because I'm looking at the ingredients and it has water as the first ingredient, which is good. Butylene glycol, which is, I believe, a humectant, or is it an occlusive? I think it's a humectant, so it like draws water into the skin. So that means it's a little bit hydrating. And then it has hydrogenated castor oil as the third ingredient. So this seems more hydrating to me than anything. Again, we'll see. Right off the bat, not super impressed. For foundation, I have this new one from Revlon. It is their skin caring foundation, the Illuminance foundation. It has 5% squalane and hyaluronic acid. I have mine in the shade 209 Buff Beige. It's a glass bottle and it has a little pump. Shade looks like it's going to be pretty good. Maybe a tad bit on the pinky side, but I think we can make it work. So I'll start with one pump and let's just spread her around, what, like half the face? But I'm not going to use the full pump. I'm going to take my Morphe x Jaclyn Hill JH03 brush and just start working that into the skin. Okay, so right off the bat, I feel like I'm getting light to medium coverage. You can still see my skin peeking through, which I prefer. I like on an everyday basis. It does seem to be a bit glowy. We'll see if it dries down at all. But so far, it's just looking really natural, very healthy. One side of the face with foundation and then one side without. You can see everything's just slightly evened out. I feel like it definitely did add a glow to my skin. It looks like my skin looks hydrated over here since we applied moisturizer, but I do feel like this side looks a bit more dewy, but it's not sparkly or anything. I am gonna pump out a little bit more because I feel like my brush just like soaked it up. I do feel like it's oxidizing a bit. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but like when I first apply it, it's a little bit lighter, whereas I feel like it sort of like dries down a darker shade. So just something to keep in mind. And then I always like to take my sponge. This is a like little pawpaw sponge from AOA. And I just like to go over my foundation just to really make sure I don't have any brush strokes, to really like press it into the skin and to like soak up any excess. I'll zoom you guys in so you can get a better look. Okay, so far I think it looks really good and natural on the skin. It gives your skin that healthy, dewy glow. It feels hydrating. It does still feel a bit tacky, so it's not gonna like set itself. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It doesn't feel oily or greasy. It's not overly accentuating like fine lines and wrinkles. I do see it starting to settle into my smile lines already, which is not my favorite. A lot of foundations do settle into my smile lines, but usually not this quickly. I don't know if it's necessarily accentuating my pores, but it's definitely not blurring them. And I really don't feel like this primer primer is doing much in the way of smoothing. I will try this again with my Benefit Professional or other smoothing primers that I know actually smooth my skin and see if that makes a difference. So just something to keep in mind, but so far I think it looks really nice. Good medium coverage, just like an everyday natural dewy foundation from the drugstore. Not mad at it, not mad at it at all. So the newest concealer that I have is from Physicians Formula. It is their Butter Glow Concealer. I've already tested this out and I believe I featured it in a couple shorts on my channel, so definitely check those out. This is a really nice concealer. It, I think, spreads super duper far. The only thing I will say is the fragrance is very, very strong. It's that typical like butter bronzer coconutty fragrance. So if you don't like fragrances or you don't like coconut, the butter bronzer scent, you will not like this. I deal with it because I do think the formula is really beautiful. It's super, super hydrating. So if you have very dry under eyes, I think you will like this. It has a very thin consistency, but it spreads so far. I think it does give good medium coverage. I do really, really like this concealer and I will feature it in upcoming videos. But because I've tried that already, I do want to test something new out. Well, it's not super, super new. I think it launched last year, but it's the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. This is supposed to be like matte, full coverage, glam. Claims to be a full coverage multi-use concealer with a natural finish. I got mine in the shade 13E, which is interesting because I usually don't get concealers with a cool undertone, but I was swatching these in store and the yellow or neutral shades just looked super yellowy orange. So let's just start off with a little bit. Like I said, this is supposed to be more full coverage. Not deep, but it's definitely not like a brightening shade on me. Okay, so with just that little bit, I do feel like I got medium coverage, but it doesn't spread super, super far. So I do think I need to go in with a little bit more for the outer portion of my eye. So I'm just taking whatever was left on my hand from my swatch and just gonna sort of build up the coverage out here where I feel like I need it. And I do feel like that conceals really nicely. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. If you have a lot of dry patches, this concealer might cling to them. I do have a little bit of dryness like right here for some reason. I always get dry right there. And I do feel like the concealer is accentuating it just a little bit. I'll try to zoom you in. I do feel like if you have very, very dry patches on your skin, this might cling to them, but that's typical for more matte or full coverage concealers. As far as a full coverage, more natural finish matte concealer goes, I think this looks really good. Excited to keep testing this. I do feel like I need a little bit more brightness underneath my eyes and down the center of my face, so I am going to take just a touch of the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer in the shade Fair to Light, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that over top of the Sephora Best Skin Ever. Again, just to bring some brightness to the center of my face so it's not so one-dimensional. I really do like this Physicians Formula concealer for brightening because I feel like it's so thin, and again, it spreads so far that it doesn't add a lot of heaviness or like cakiness to your foundation. To set, I don't have a new setting powder, but I have been absolutely obsessed with this Set and Correct finishing powder from Moira. This is their pressed powder that is like a color correcting powder. Let me just tell you, I am very, very hard to please when it comes to powders because most powders just do not like my skin and my skin does not like them. It is a mutual dislike. This powder is not drying at all. It is super smoothing. I love it. I just love it. It's as simple as that. So I love taking some on my little beauty blender sponge, just like a thin layer, and I just press that into the skin, and immediately you can tell this side is just so much smoother and blurred. I'm gonna take that down the center of my face. This powder did way more for blurring than this primer did, so I would say save your money and get this instead. Another amazing powder that I've been loving, and I did mention this in my February favorites, this is the Butter Glow Pressed Powder from Physicians Formula as well. This is so interesting. It's sort of like the Hourglass ambient lighting powders where it sets your makeup but it doesn't mattify your skin. It gives your skin like a beautiful glowy finish, sort of like the e.l.f. Halo Glow loose powder, but this one is pressed so it's a little bit less messy. I don't have a new bronzer, so I'm just going to quickly pop on this Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Happy Soul. I just placed an order for her new shade. I think it's called Bright Side. It's supposed to be a little bit more cool toned, so I'm excited to test that out because I do love this formula, but I do find that the shades run a little bit warm. Just gonna go ahead and take a tan over here as well while we're here. Yeah, I've been out in the sun totally. Like, been going out on my boat every weekend, soaking up my vitamin D. This is like natural, duh. Also from Relove, we have this baby tint. It is a lip and cheek tint in the shade Rose. Should we dab it onto the face first, or should we apply it with a brush? Okay, honestly, I always like to take my creams on a brush first. So I feel like to give this the fairest shot, that's what we should do. I'm gonna take this little angled brush from Morphe. I'm just gonna coat all the bristles, sort of swirl it around on my hand, start pressing it into the skin. Oh, that's pretty. It sort of feels like it's drying down quickly. Like as I'm pressing it in, I can sort of feel a little bit of resistance, like tackiness. Just for fun, let's try to add a little bit more directly to the cheeks. It's a bit sticky and it's a little bit hard to shear out. Maybe I shouldn't have applied that powder. Maybe that's why it feels like it's drying down so fast. I'll have to test it out another time, like without a powder underneath. I'm just gonna take my sponge and press around the edges. It doesn't look like it picked up any of the foundation underneath, but it is a little bit difficult to blend. It's not bad, but I don't know if right off the bat, like I would say it's an immediate love. But I think this was only like $3, so for $3, I don't think it's bad. I just think you have to work quickly. So far, so good. Not bad. For eyes, I'm really excited about this. I have tried one shade in this formula. This is the Wet n Wild Shadow Silk Liquid Eyeshadow. I've tried one of the matte shades in this called Neutral Terra, and this is like a beautiful sort of like rosy beige color, and it blends like a dream, doesn't crease, it builds up on itself. It's so good. I featured it again in my February favorites, but I haven't tried the metallic or shimmery version of this formula, so I picked up this shade because I wanted to see if it was just as good as the matte, and this one is in the shade Bronze Digger. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. And just so you can see, I'll swatch Neutral Terra next to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply this directly to the eyelid. Not bringing it too far up, just doing a thin layer on the mobile lid, and then I will take a fluffier brush and just start patting it in and then working my way up to the edges so I can start diffusing the edges and blending it up towards the crease. This is a really pretty color. So immediately I'm noticing that it is more sheeny than the matte shade. Obviously it's not matte, but it's definitely not super shimmery. More of like a satin finish, I would say. Seems to be blending out really beautifully. Okay, let's see if we can build it a little bit, because you can build the matte shades as I was saying. So just to see if you wanted to add more depth or intensity. And I usually like to let the first layer sort of dry before I go in with another layer. Yeah, it seems like it's building up nicely. It does look a tad bit chunky where I built it. Looks like it's enhancing the texture a wee bit more, which I didn't notice with the matte shade. Not like picking up the pigment underneath of it, which a lot of liquid shadows can do when you try to build them. So that's good. If you've been watching any of my videos, any of my shorts, you will know that I am literally dying over these Starshow shadow pots from Moira. Again, Moira is just killing it. Like, I've been loving so many of their products, and they're an affordable brand too. This shade, Eureka, is everything. This is a cool tone lover's dream. It has the most unique purpley undertone, but the reflect is insane. Oh, it's so pretty. So of course I had to pick up another shade. I mean, I had to. It would have been bad if I didn't. Anyway, it was so hard to pick which shade to get. I figured I would go with this shade Quartz, because I figured I could use it as like sort of a topper in the middle of an eye look for like a halo eye or something. It's a beautiful iridescent white shimmer with goldeny pink reflex. It looks wet. I do want to just add a little bit of this maybe to like the center of the lid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love it. Disco Diva, ready to go, you know? So I already knew I love this formula, but I just wanted to try a new shade because I'm obsessed and I need all the shades. I am such an idiot. I did have a bronzer to test. I don't know, I guess I was just like so in the mode of rare beauty because I'm excited for that new shade that I totally forgot about, this Face Off bronzer from Hard Candy. I love the blush in this formula. Born Yesterday is the perfect baby doll pink, and it gives your skin the most beautiful, radiant, lit from within glow. You can sheer it out. It looks very natural. You can still build it up as well, and it doesn't like get bunchy or patchy or pick up any of the foundation underneath. It's so good. So I really wanted to test out the bronzer in this formula. I got the shade Sweet Tea. I did swatch this, and I have to say I'm a little bit nervous because the blush gives your skin like a radiant finish, but it doesn't have glitter in it. Whereas this one in the sun, it does look like it has tiny, teensy little, I don't know if it's glitter, but like maybe like a little bit of a pearlescence. We'll see. Should I just try to like layer it? why not? It could go terribly wrong because I've already set my face, but whatever. We're testing stuff out, so let's just do it. And this is not going to be like the true color because, again, I already have that Rare Beauty bronzer underneath, but we can still, you know, we can still test a little bit, see what it's like. I'm just too curious. I actually don't mind applying this formula directly to the face. I don't know if that's too much, but the blush, again, is pretty sheer. I'm going to try to just press because I did powder already. Ooh, that's pretty. Definitely on the warmer side, but it does look like it's giving my skin a little bit of a sheen, which I like. Really easy to blend too, just like the blush. Yeah, there might be like the smallest little tiny glitter particles in there, but nothing that I would be worried about. I feel like someone would have to be like this close to your face. It's not really noticeable. It's not patchy. It's not picking up anything underneath. Seems to be applying well over the powders, which is good. Why is my hairline so weird?
My hairline is so weird. My pores are huge. My nail beds suck.
Just finished up the eyes. I tried out these Ioni lashes. These are the lashes that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I think they're a little bit dramatic for my taste, but they apply really easily and they are very pretty. So if you like the style, I'd say go for it. I picked up a different style. I think the name was Taurus, and I do prefer that style just for my personal taste, but overall I think the quality is really good. Band is flexible. They don't like stab you in the eye. Really nice so far. So like those. And I didn't show this on camera, but earlier I did fill in my brows with this Blade Brow from Makeup Revolution, the Relove line. This brow pencil is super interesting because the tip is more flat. I am gonna just touch them up a little bit. I actually really like this brow pencil. The shade is great. A lot of affordable brow pencils, especially the brown shades, tend to be a bit more warm. This one is not. It's really pigmented, but not too pigmented to where it's like smearing everywhere. You get 0.003 ounces. It's the same as the Maybelline, which is nice. This is a really good brow pencil, and I'll zoom in so you can see the tip here. So I think last but not least is lips. I do have this gloss from CoverGirl that I want to try. I love the CoverGirl Yummy glosses, but I haven't tried this shade. I love the shade Acai You Later, so cute. It looks really intense in the tube, but it's actually a lot more sheer than this. But I wanted to try this lighter shade, Havanna Good Time. Oh my gosh, the names are so cute. This is the Essence Stay in Place Waterproof Lip Liner in the shade Tea Time. Oh, did I even mention this? This is the Roll Baby Lip Oil from Makeup Revolution. I actually popped this on before I started filming. It comes with like one of those little roller ball applicators, which is like my childhood, but unfortunately the ball doesn't really roll. It's like stuck, so that's kind of a bummer because I was really excited about this. The formula itself feels pretty nice once you actually get it on your lips. It feels very moisturizing, a little bit thicker but not sticky, but again the roller ball is like the main reason why I wanted to get it and it doesn't even work, so kind of a bummer. So again, I already know that I love this formula, but I just wanted to test a different color. These smell so good. These make your lips look so juicy. They do plump your lips a little bit, but they're not uncomfortable. Ugh, I love it. Alright, I'm going to set my brows with my Milani The Clear Brow Gel. And I don't have a new highlighter, but I want to use this little Wonder Stick from NYX because I'm obsessed with this champagne cream highlight. It's so pretty, and I haven't used it in a while. I love highlighter. I know it's not super trendy right now, but I don't know, there's something about it. I just love it. And then I want to take a little bit of one of my favorite drugstore highlighters of all time, the Revlon Skin Lights highlighter. Like, this is a blinding highlight, but it doesn't look glittery or artificial. It's so smooth on the skin, but very impactful. It looks like a high-end highlighter. Actually, I remember when I was in college, I literally never even wore makeup that much, but I went to Ulta once and I found this like big box from, I think it was Too Faced or Urban Decay, I can't remember. It was like purple and glittery. It's literally like a gigantic highlighter, huge, but it wasn't like a smooth highlighter like this. It was a glitter bomb, like literal just glitter. I would just take a huge fluffy brush and literally just go ham all over my face, and that was how I met my husband. Glitter everywhere. And he said I look like a pixie. I'm glad that he was not picky with how I did my makeup because I just was barefaced with glitter. He liked it, so that's love. I feel like I need a little bit of liner on the bottom lashes. I'm gonna take my little Wet n Wild Color Kohl eyeliner in Sim Brown now. I'm just gonna define the lower lash line a little bit. Just because these lashes are so intense, I feel like I need to balance them out a bit. Okay, this is a new blush well, it's not new. It's new to me. This is called The Blush from Essence. I don't think I've ever tried this formula, or if I have, I haven't used it in a while, and I've never used this shade. This is in the shade Befitting, just like the perfect dusty, rosy, pinky color. It kind of matches this. This is a little bit more purpley. This is more pink. This literally feels like velvet. Ooh, super pigmented. It feels so smooth. I just want to take a little bit of this. Ooh, yep, she's pigmented. That's pretty. This is a pretty color. Let's set the makeup. I'm going to take my Hydro Priming Setting Spray from Moira again. And then when everything's just about dry, I'll take my sponge and just lightly press everything in. Okay, so I feel like everything's looking pretty good. This was a relatively successful first impression. So I'll go through and give you some quick speed reviews. These are just first impressions. I will definitely keep testing these products, but I'll give you my first impressions. Starting off with the primer, the Makeup Revolution Relove or Vanish Primer. First impressions, I'm not obsessed with this. I feel like it didn't do much in the way of pore smoothing. My pores still seem pretty large and in charge, especially before I set it with powder. Smelled kind of like a hairspray or a hair gel, and it kind of felt like that too. So honestly, I'm not super impressed. I would say save your $4 and use it towards something else. The foundation from Revlon, the Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. I feel like it looks nice on the skin. I don't know if it's my favorite foundation from the drugstore yet. This one I felt like it sunk into my lines and pores a little bit more quickly than I would have preferred. But again, I will test it with different primers and see if I like the finish better. This concealer from Sephora, I really like. I think it's a really good full coverage concealer. If you want a full coverage concealer that has more of a natural matte finish, I think you would like it. I do think you have a lot of texture, or if you're extremely dry or even have mature skin, I don't know if you would love this. I would say if you have dry skin and you want to test it, just make sure you really hydrate your under eyes and maybe don't go in with powder. But so far, so good. I think it's really good for spot concealing as well, because anywhere where I had some like spots I wanted to conceal, this did a really good job of covering them and staying in place and not accentuating like any texture. The blush I do like. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite. And the reason why is because I feel like it's a little bit sticky and thick. It kind of feels like you're applying a liquid lipstick to your face. Like it dries almost like when you feel like a liquid lipstick like drying down on your lips. It is super cute and I do like the color. It's very pigmented, so I don't think it's bad. I will continue to use it. Next time I try it, I will try it on no powder because that might have made it more difficult to blend. The Hard Candy Face Off Liquid Bronzer I do enjoy. I think it's very similar to the blush, which I love. This one does have tiny little like pearlescence in it, so if you are adamantly opposed to any sort of sheen, you might not like this, but I don't think it's super noticeable. It's just really easy to blend, which I really like. I also really think the packaging is just so cute. It's so tiny. One of my favorite products I tried was actually this Shadow Silk from Wet n Wild. I already knew that I love this formula, but again, I've only tried the matte formula. The metallic formula is really nice. It's easy to blend. It builds up. The only thing I will say is don't layer it too much or it can start to look a little bit chunk. As long as you're doing light layers, then I don't think you're gonna have an issue. But again, it's not creasing. It blends really easily, and I do think it's a really, really pretty color. The Moira Starshow Shadow Pots, you need to try these. Teensy tiny little glitter reflex that look like stardust on your eyelids, and it's so beautiful. Especially this white shade I really like because I feel like you could add this on top of any color. The CoverGirl Yummy Gloss, again, I love these. These are a little bit on the thicker side, but they're super long wearing. They plump your lips. They feel really good, make your lips look super shiny and juicy and plump, and they smell like a dream. Any shade would be good because they are a bit on the more sheer side. Really, you could alter the color with like any lip liner you put underneath of it. The blush from Essence. This is really good. Super creamy, velvety, pigmented. I love the shade. It was like $3. Love this. Ioni lashes. Love these. If you're at the Dollar Tree, pick some up if you see a style that you like. And then this Blade Brow from Makeup Revolution Relove. This is really good. Really, really good. I think it was only like $2 or $3. I actually really enjoy the more rectangular tip. It makes drawing the hair-like strokes in your brows super easy. This brow pencil and the Shadow Silk are probably, I mean, the Moira shadows I already loved. I just wanted to try this color. These are like my top 3 things that I tried today. I'd say if you pass on anything, pass on this. I was so disappointed in this because, I mean, it feels nice on the lips, but the little ball is broken, which is like half the fun. So pass on the lip oil, pass on the primer. Honestly, I don't really think you need the blush. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried any of these products. What do you think? I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.
I can take you anywhere, I could take you home. I just wanna be there so you never feel alone. I know how it feels to be lost inside this world. Don't give up, don't give up.